For centuries, man has feared things that go bump in the night. That is not about to change now. Some of the fastest names in the game face a very scary prospect. That of a champion out in front with time running out. As the chase heads for the home track, expect some high-octane Southern hospitality. So dig in, buckle up, and make your move. Because before you know it, it'll be lights out on your shot at the title.
Scenic Salisbury, North Carolina, known for its scenic views and its cattle on the way to the Millbridge Speedway, which is host of today's race, the DNQ Dirt Series Lead to Real Estate 40. I'm Bob Tuato, and for the first time here, I have Merrill Balltrip. Great to see you here tonight.
Great to be here, Bob. Thanks for having me. I'm excited for this dirt race.
So the Charles Lewandowski weather report, 60 degrees, light winds, and no chance of precip. The track is definitely tacky and wet. Should be great conditions. But Derek Perniciglio is down with our points leader. Derek?
Well, you see that Stars and Stripe number 39, and that's always a familiar sight here in the DNQ karting series. That's the familiar kart of Jeff Kuhn, who sits second in the points right now. And what have you got to do to stay there?
I got a new motor and new tires, and we're just going to go and see what happens, you know, and try to chase the track, and hopefully the heavy hitter 7-Eleven Dan Reinhauer doesn't show up, and maybe I can maintain that points lead for tonight.
Now, you finished second in the race the last time that they raced here. What did you learn from that previous race that you can apply tonight?
Just haul ass and don't be scared. Just balls to the walls, really, and go from there.
Well, keep an eye on that white and blue and Stars and Stripes number 39. He hopes to haul ass, as he says here in the DNQ karting series.
Jeff Kuhn's been hauling ass all year, and let's look at these points where he's on top, Merrill.
Bob, yeah, Bentley, he's got a strong lead with 47 points. What you can't see there is his drop race is really, really high, followed by Dan Ridenhour and David Markham.
The drop races kind of screw you up on the points, but trust me, Bentley has a decent lead. But one driver that we haven't seen in a while in the series is down with Derek. Derek?
And one driver that makes his return here to the DNQ karting series, he hasn't been around since January, is Sean Meekoff, and welcome back.
Yeah, it's good. Tim Kuhn texted me this morning about 9 a.m. I was waiting for the text all week. He always kind of wavers back and forth, I'm going to ride it, and all of a sudden this morning got the text, and here we are. So.
Now, it's your first race since running here in January. The track conditions are a lot different, but how much time is it going to take to shake all the rust off?
Once you get on the track, it's no big deal. Pretty much get the bugs out of your stomach, pull on the track, and it's all good. So.
Is it one of those situations where once you roll out onto the track, it's like riding a bicycle, you never forget?
Yeah, exactly. As long as the kart's not too bad, it's no problem. Yeah.
Any plan or strategy for tonight?
Try to see how it is in the heat race, start in the back and go to the front, and then in the feature, kind of wait around to the last 5 laps, not do anything stupid, and then go for it there.
Well, Sean Meekoff, he returns to the DNQ karting series, and he's hoping for a top 10 run tonight.
Well, let's look at one of these karts out here in the team Stanley Brothers Racing there, Merrill.
Yeah, this is a joint operation between Jesse and Clint, some brothers. They share the seat. Jesse had a good run last race at the Pontiac Excitement 30, finished 4th. Currently, they're mid-pack in the owner's points. They're hoping for a good run this race.
You know, Clint went off to the Air Force to go do some training, and we salute him for that, of course. And this team is getting better every race, and I heard that they might run 2 karts next season. That'll be good for them, and good to see them out here each week racing with us with those smoky unit colors. Well, one driver that's had some issues all year has been Jason Eford, Merrill.
Man, that's one no driving fuck if I ever seen one. But you know, if he didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all.
You know, sometimes you can blame the equipment, but at some point it's just luck as we see him pulling behind the wall over here.
This is a move he's been used to all year long. That's pulling off in the scale house.
You know, he's used to his tail being stuck between his legs on these races. You see him spinning out here in this race.
I mean, that was all his fault.
Derek Perniciglio is down with him right now. Derek, what do you got?
Well, we all know the ups and downs of racing are like the proverbial roller coaster, but one guy that's experienced that this year is Jason Eford. You've had really terrible luck this year. How do you plan on turning it around?
You just got to go out there and keep running and hopefully nothing breaks. That's been the story of my year. Motors, when the motor don't break, the chassis breaks. So just keep on running, and hopefully it all stays together.
Now, hoping that it all stays together for tonight, you're really competitive at this track. What does it take to get around here?
On the wintertime, it takes softer tires and, you know, just laps. You have laps around here, and you slide out toward the wall, so you kind of got to know what you're in for. It's not like another dirt track where you have a lot of grip. And, yeah, I've been running here since 2007, I think. So if it wasn't for the bad luck, I think I would have had a couple wins already. But, you know, that's how racing goes. So.
Well, a couple of years ago, the track was a lot different. It was a lot flatter. Last year, they banked the place. They changed it around a lot. How does it drive?
It's a whole lot better to drive with a lot of banking. You can really drive it down in the corners, let it float up to the wall, and the banking catches you right before you get there. I like it a whole lot better than it used to be in the old days when it was real flat.
Well, Jason Eford hopes, as he says, to drive it in there and possibly get to victory lane tonight.
Well, they used to call it Eford's house. Now it's Eford's shit house.
Yeah, never heard truer words in my life, Bob.
Earlier today, we had the Lead 2 Real Estate Group heat races, and in the I Want to Buy heat race, it was Brad Buskirk pulled out to it quickly.
Right there, going to the inside, getting a shove from Timmy Nye. Timmy Nye shoving his nose down, taking a peek, but Buskirk on the bush to pass on exit.
Bush to pass, had a bush light to pass, and it looked like Buskirk was going to run away with this race, and Nye was right there close to him.
Yeah, Buskirk pulling away, 2-3 car lead. Oh, what happened? The leader's off.
And
he's slowing down.
Buskirk lost an engine. Big shame for him. He was hauling ass.
Yeah, he was going to be one of the favorites to win, no doubt.
Tim Nye takes home the win in heat race number 1. He's down with Tony Stevens. Tony?
Tim Nye picked up heat race number 1 here at the Lead 2 Real Estate Group 40. And Tim, you made it look easy. Did you just dial the card in that good for the heat race?
Actually, it seemed to go away pretty good. I was very lucky to stay in front of Ryan Summers because I know he's going to be real tough. But I can't thank Brandon GRP enough. He put this whole go-kart together for me to run, and we went and picked it up like 3 weeks ago, so I'm pretty stoked. He's been thrashing away, and if anybody deserves to win it, I think it would be him, you know, so he's put a lot of effort into it.
Now, what was the racetrack like? Obviously, you said your kart went away. Do you think that was a setup issue, or do you feel more that was the track and the moisture conditions out there?
All tires, I think. I think if we get the tires right and tune just a little bit on the track, we'll be in a lot better shape. So, should be good. Should be a fun feature to race. As long as I keep my kart on 4 wheels and don't try to flip it over again, I should be good.
That's Tim Nye. It sounds like he feels durability might be the key to winning here tonight, more so than actual speed.
Heat race number 2 in the I Want to Sell heat race. Jason Eford had a good start on the pole.
Yeah, look at that, even pulling away. First time in his career.
Although Eford's luck would change almost instantly as Dan Ridenhour smoked that ass.
Yeah, he did. Followed up by Bentley Kuhn coming for him, too.
You know, Dan Ridenhour took the lead, and then after that, it was all Dan Ridenhour pretty much as we see the rest of the field coming by. But Ridenhour took home the win in the I Want to Sell Lead 2 Real Estate heat race, and he is down with Tony Stevens.
Heat race 2 wasn't quite as big of a spanking as heat race 1, like Tim Nye laid on him. But Daniel Ridenhour, you pulled out for a good bit there on that heat race number 2. And I see you in here playing with tires. Or do you think you're that far out to lunch already, or is the track changing?
No, I'm good, but I like to be better. Hopefully we can just keep her up front and win. So I'd like to thank my Concord plating, Chrome Company in Concord for helping me out, sponsorship, and Jim Former for the fantastic motor, and my dad doing tires, and my famous help, Randy and Pat, for helping me tonight. And maybe we can go get them.
Daniel Ridenhour keeping those cards not even close to the vest. I think they're buried in the vest right now. We'll see what he's got come feature time, guys.
Well, not really sure if that interview took place in 1999 or 2014.
Yeah. That was a really good haircut.
The drivers getting ready for the race, and it should be a shit show.
Oh, yeah, they're going to go toe-to-toe, nail-to-nail. It's going to be interesting, Bob.
Coming up next, it's the Lead 2 Real Estate 40. We'll be right back after this.
sick of eating the same shit over and over again. Ah, damn it.
G'day, mate.
What the hell are you doing in my house?
I'm Bronson Butcher, driver of DNQ karting series. How about you have some Wheat Bix? Low in sugar, 97% whole grain, high in iron, zinc and folate. Aussie kids are Wheat Bix kids.
Think I'll give them a try.
Wheat Bix, official breakfast cereal of Bronson Butcher and the DNQ karting series. Are you a Wheat Bix kid? Go to www.wheatbix.com for your chance to win VIP pit passes to next year's DNQ 500.
DNQ Karting Series brought to you by Live and Good Tires, the best selection of new and used tires, Salisbury, North Carolina. And by L2RE Real Estate. Contact Frank Bolter or Jason Reiner for any property you want to buy or sell. As we see Curtis Markham over here working on David Markham's tires right before this feature.
You have to have your tires right to run strong here, Bob. It's all about tires. There you see Sean Meekoff getting ready, getting suited up.
Eric Maycroft getting ready.
Had no driving fuck there.
And speaking of him right there,
Eddie DeHaan coming from the back like normal.
Jeff Kuhn may be our champion.
Yeah.
He's going to be fighting that tonight. But next season, we might see this guy fight for the championship.
Star of the heat race. Tim Nye got a new ride tonight, looking strong.
Won the Live and Good Tires 6.8 earlier this season.
Yeah, he got a win, 2 top 5s, and then 2 fucking terrible finishes.
He flipped his cart at the fair.
He was so bad, flipped his own cart.
He has had a couple engine issues, and he builds his own engine, so it's been a frustrating season for him. You know, you build them, you have a couple beers, you spill beer in there, and then shit's friggin' messed up. Let's go down to Tony Stevens. Tony?
Thanks, guys. One of the things teams are really looking at very hard here tonight are track conditions. It's rained extremely hard the last couple of days here around the Millbridge area, just north of Charlotte, and here is how hard it's rained. Look right here on the surface. This is just inside the racing groove here at the racetrack. How soft is this? I can push my pin in it with hardly any effort whatsoever. That's how wet the racing surface itself is. Now, this track is always known to be fast and very tacky, but just 3, 4, 5 feet away, all the way over here on the racing surface itself, look, hard as a rock already. You can feel the moisture in the racetrack, and all the drivers we've talked to tonight say they expect this track to stay tacky, stay moist, and this could be a bad, fast racetrack here at Millbridge tonight.
Well, there's nothing better than a tacky, moist racetrack. But while we got time, Merrill, let's check out the starting lineup. In row 1, we got Tim Nye and Dan Ridenhour, our heat race winners, as we look through the rest of the field.
Ryan Summers, who dominated the last race here, wasn't worth a fuck at the fair.
Jason Eford has a rough season has been for him. Sean Meekoff back in the ride this week.
Yep, Matt Holzbauer on the inside of him.
Sweet picture for Eric Maycroft.
Yep.
Baller ass picture. Josh Heidkamp, Tim Kuhn, the owner of the kart, getting in the seat for the first time in row number 6. Row 7, we have Father Time himself and Eddie DeHaan Jr.
And we got Josh Potter and Mike Carver picking up the back.
Yeah, it's Justin, but you know he's new, whatever. So we'll get his name. One driver failed to start this race. It was Brad Buskirk, who lost the engine earlier. Tough break for Brad.
Yeah, and it looks like the track's going to be great. The drivers are excited about it. I hope to see a good race.
2 in-car cameras will be following tonight. Jeff Kuhn in the lead 2 real estate in-car camera.
And Eddie DeHaan has got the second in-car, the brute essence of man in-car. He's going to be coming from the back. Watch him to be strong later on.
Well, we got both these karts on in-car camera. We're getting ready to race as the field comes down, taking the green flag. We're underway for the lead 2 real estate group 40.
And Bentley Kuhn with an aggressive move in turn 1, and he's going straight to the back.
You know, him and Dan Ridenhour are going to race the living shit out of each other because it's for the championship at the end of the year.
Yeah, except one of them's from 1999.
Yeah, Jason Eford making the pass on Bentley right there.
And here comes Ryan Summers following him through. No, he's not following him through. He's not quite fast enough yet.
Here comes the choo-choo train for Bentley right there. He's working on the train. Let's go on board with Bentley real quick while he races with Jason Eford.
Yeah, coming up strong. He's probably going to turn him here in a minute. Nah. Jason's just got too much for him right now.
Yeah, Bentley is a brand new engine on that kart, he said right before this race. So hopefully he's breaking it in right here.
Yeah, he could have followed Jason through that hole there, but he had nothing.
Let's go. Justin Potter behind the wall already. Tough break for him. But while we're cranked up, Brad, let's go ahead and crank it up ourselves.
Inside, 41, inside. Still there. Still inside. Clear. Clear all around. All clear. Good drive here. Clear all around.
10-4. Yeah, we'll have the halfway break at 20 here. You got nobody catching you, man, so whatever you do, just ride.
Let these idiots do what they're going to do, and you just drive to the front.
All clear.
Another slow one here. Clear? What the fuck is deal here? Doing a hell of a job. Keeping right with them here. Slow on the inside here. Slow going into one.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that session of Crank It Up as I'm burping up a beer down here. We're on board with the Eddie DeHunt Jr. and the Essence of Man Brute camera, and he's working on David Markham, and he's already making his way through the field.
Smelling good, looking good, passing good. How about that? Eddie DeHunt Jr. coming from the back.
Watch out, ladies.
Or men.
You know, well, I don't know. I don't know who were. No, he was just laying over for him, I think.
He smelled him coming.
Look at this field right here. Very fast racetrack tonight.
Yeah, Ryan Summers about to get past. Ooh, Ryan Summers aggressive.
Shot. What a shot to make her up there. And Tim Nye checking out on this field. Currently first. Lowest position has been first and has one win on the season. And he is digging in this car.
He's looking to make it another after a piss-poor run at the fair.
I agree. And he got in somebody else's cart, so that's good to see. Maybe he shouldn't own his own.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he just really sucks at working on his own shit.
That could be a very good possibility.
Yeah.
As we see him right here. And we got one cart spinning
around.
the front leader. Caution's out. That was David Markham, and he just smacked the living shit out of the wall down there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And I'm glad to see he's okay. He's back in the gas. Does he have a problem there? He's got a flat left rear, maybe?
I don't know what he's got. And the field pacing here under caution, I'm sure we'll get back to that for it here in a minute. You see Kuhn pulling a tear off.
Yeah, drivers need a break here just to catch their breath. This is tough racing here.
Kuhn needed that caution because he was falling back as we see David Markham pulling his entry behind the wall. They're going to do some work on it.
Yeah, they need to.
You know, in DNQ karting series, you don't go a lap down, so it's take the time and fix it right and then come back out on the racetrack.
You know, a lot of crews don't understand that. Oh, we got another one? Who is that?
Looks like Sean Meekoff is rolling his car off
that's
the track.
No surprise.
Well, you know, that's a tough break for him. He DNF'd the last race. Tony Stevens is down there right now. Tony, let's go down to Tony. What's going on down there?
Chain fell off. I got to get it back on.
I think you meant get it back in, Bob. Maybe he should sponsor. Maybe you should get the Brute sponsorship.
Green flag. We're back underway, and
Jason Ebert actually got a good restart. First time I've ever seen that out of him.
Running second right now. Right now we're third. Kuhn. If you're Bentley Kuhn here, are you worried at all when you're out here racing?
I think Bentley Kuhn's just trying to make it to halfway right now. Ridenhour's still in it. Timmy Nye's pulling away. He doesn't even need to try anymore.
You know, we had a very big field, and it looks like it's thinning early already.
Yes, Bob, it is.
You know, you should checklist your stuff before you get in it, because you're going very fast. At least tonight, you're going really fast here. You don't want nothing flying off this car.
Checklists are hard when you're fucking drunk.
Yeah, I agree. I can't imagine a lot of guys working on their carts for this deal and not having at least a few beers.
Yeah, they're definitely on the push to pass before they get to the racetrack.
One driver that is Tim Nye, and here's the caution for the halfway break, and that came pretty quick.
And Bob, this gives the drivers and crewmen an opportunity to fix their carts. If it's ill handling, they can put some wedge in it, restagger, whatever they need to do. They can fix it and get ready for the second half when it counts.
Well, we know when Danny O'Quinn Jr. needs a halfway break, he goes for the chips and salsa. So we celebrate him in this halfway break.
R.I.P. Danny O'Quinn.
You see drivers getting out of their carts. By the way, he's expecting a child very soon. I'm not sure many people know that. Congratulations, Danny.
Yeah,
and,
congrats,
it's a boy.
Danny.
Let's go down to Tony Stevens. Tony?
Tim Nye has dominated the first half of this race. Tim, any changes to your cart during this halfway break?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't think there's really too much we can do. So we're gonna see what we got.
How is the track? Has it changed at all? How's the engine holding together for that matter?
Engine's awesome. Can't say enough about the engine. It's perfect. I didn't build it, so it's good.
See Eddie Hunt Jr. talking to Brad Buster and Chris Williams. He put their tires on before this race.
Oh, yeah, and it's definitely paid off. He's come from 14th to 6th. He's on a charge. Look for him to be up front at the end.
Tony's down on pit road cruising around. Tony, who you got?
Daniel, you're getting your cart in place, lined up. How was it on the first half of this one, the Lead 2 Real Estate 40?
I think I'm too soft. It's gonna be hard to beat Tim Nye tonight.
Well, that's one of the times you don't want to be too soft is right here during this race.
Well, if he was sponsored by Brew, that wouldn't be a problem.
You see drivers getting back in their carts after their adjustments. Matt Holzbauer right here talking to his wife.
Tony, crew chief owner.
Tony Stevens is down there with a race brake. Tony, what the hell is going on down there?
Guys, it's getting crazy over here in the pit lane. You can see behind me, teams going to work. There's fuel trucks running back and forth. We've already seen a couple of drivers with flat tires. We've talked to a couple of drivers who say they've already missed the setup, and there are some things they're going to try to do to make those carts a little bit better. But the big talk right now in the pit area after 20 laps, Tim Nye. A lot of drivers, a lot of teams thinking he is simply unbeatable. Of course, in the pre-race, remember, his key word was durability. He didn't say it, but he said if it holds together, which leads me to think that maybe, just maybe, that 5 car might have a hand grenade. The question is, how long is it going to last? Will it last the last 20 laps of the Lead 2 Real Estate 40? We're about to find out. Of course, Jason Eford and those guys, they were running him down, they felt, at the end of that segment. But remember, it's a 5-lap shootout at the end of the Lead 2 Real Estate 40. So 20 laps, it doesn't matter how good you are at the end of 20. If you can keep that cart rolling on the 5-lap shootout when everybody bunches back up, you might have a shot. Something tells me things are about to get real here in the DNQ karting series at Millbridge. Back to you guys.
Well, thanks, Tony. As we see Josh Heidenkamp in the Lone Star Pawn Shop Kart 42X, and the rest of the field rolling out to get this second half underway.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Eddie DeHaan Jr. has. He was coming strong. Timmy Nye wearing that ass out. Jason Eford holding up the field. We got a lot of action to come yet, Bob.
A lot of storylines. You see the 10 back out there, the 186, and Eford looked like his engine was having some problems starting right there.
Timmy Nye built that engine. You know, there's a little competition going on. I wouldn't be surprised if he built him a grenade.
And so what do you think here, Merrill? What do you think about the rest of these guys as we go on board with Jesse Stanley, who finally turned his GoPro on, and I think Maycroft's trying to tell him he's got a flat tire.
So is it flat?
I don't know.
Yes,
it is.
Flat before the green. He's going to have to pit and go to the tail end of the longest line.
Jeez. What do you expect here, Merrill, in this last couple laps, second half of this race?
Well, Ryan Summers is back out. He pulled off early. I think he didn't know he was drunk, forgot what gear to put on, something like that. He's coming from the back. We got, who was that just had a flat?
Stanley.
Stanley just had a flat. He's going to come from the back. This should be interesting.
You see Jeff Kuhn on board with him. Green flag, we're back underway.
Whoa, Timmy Nye with a great jump. Jason Eford backing up the field like he did the first half.
Back it up.
And we're on board with Eddie DeHaan Jr. in the Brute Spice for Men.
Essence of Man in car camera.
Car camera.
He's running down Matt Holzbauer.
Sorry, Bob. I've been on the bush to pass, too.
Look at the field come down the backstretch. Everyone came back into the race. We said the field was thin earlier, but everyone's back out there as we look at this racing action.
And we got a good battle for, what is that, 4th, 5th, and 6th there. We got Bentley Kuhn, Eddie DeHaan.
These guys are mixing it up pretty good. Matt Holzbauer, and looks like
what is that?
Slowing hard, and
is he?
That's a caution.
And it's O-time.
Let's listen in and see what's going on over there.
10-4. What happened?
It's big.
10-4.
And that's a tough break for Eddie DeHaan after a great run, one of the best runs of his career.
You know, he finished 3rd last race, but he was not worth a shit here the first time.
No.
I mean, the practice heat was a struggle for him.
And whatever they did to tune this thing up for the main event, man, it came to the front in a hurry.
He better kiss Chris Williams and Brad Buskirk's ass for giving him tires.
Probably lick the gooch.
Well, November 5th, the season finale for the League 2 Real Estate Group 30. And the final race of the season, that is going to be probably the worst race we've ran all year.
That's going to be a shit show. Everybody needs to show up for that. That is going to be big.
A regular night for the Millbridge Speedway, so 30 laps for these guys, the shortest race of the year. You've got no time. You have to plow through the field, and hopefully Bentley Kuhn is hoping that he clinches the championship for that race.
It's going to be a shootout.
Well, one last race for that season. I cannot wait. And then the series is on the off season, and then we go back right at it in January.
Oh, I'm excited to see what people come up with over the off season.
Oh, we had a really good kart. I don't know. We had an engine issue, something wrong with the engine. This thing was a rocket ship towards the end. We did a lot of work on it. So I want to thank Bronson and Jared Branna, Jason Reiner, everybody at L2RE Real Estate, and Kyle Bonsignor built awesome engines. But we just had some kind of failure, and we'll look at it, redo it, and we'll get back at it.
Tough break for Eddie Hunt Jr. Had a good car tonight, but back into this racing, you see Ryan Summers coming after Bentley Kuhn now.
Looks like he got his kart tuned up. In the halftime break, he's coming for the leaders.
You know, Ridenhour wants Summers to pass him to get that cushion in points. He needs all the points he can get as we go on board with Jeff Kuhn.
Yeah, here we are. We got a tough battle. Bentley Kuhn, Bentley Kuhn just lost a spot to Ryan Summers. Ryan Summers on the move.
He kind of struggled this race. You know, he ran so well here the last race. It's kind of weird to see him not doing that well.
Yeah, he might have forgot what the hell to do. But there's Tim Nye stretching his legs.
He is strolling, as Danny O'Quinn would say.
Oh, passing Eric Maycroft, putting him another lap down.
And, Eford, you know what? Jason Eford and Matt Holzbauer, second and third here. Eford's actually got a very good handling kart. He just cannot catch Tim Nye.
Yeah, and the restart was complete shit. So if he figures out the restart with this 5 to go, watch out for Eford.
I agree, and we touched earlier on how much bad luck Eford has had throughout the season. It's good to see him up front. And Matt Holzbauer, another person who had some problems, as Summers works on Bentley.
Look at this battle. This could get dirty.
This could get dirty. Riding dirty.
Yeah, riding dirty. Yeah, these are two drivers that don't necessarily like each other. They're not giving each other.
Oh, a shot from Summers.
Oh, he'll get it back.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind.
Riding dirty didn't get that name for nothing.
He's got, I don't think he's Cadillacing tonight. I guarantee it. He is struggling with that thing.
He's fucking Buicking tonight.
Yeah, you're Buicking. Second fiddle as we see Tim Nye putting Maycroft. Oh!
Whoa! Threading the needle.
Heads up! Heads up, buddy.
I don't think Eford can pull that off. No, look at that.
No, he's stuck in the trap. He lost an easy second and a half right there.
Whoa.
Yeah, and Frank Steiner out there, his first race, just making laps, trying to get a good setup.
Nice to see him out there. I'm glad he didn't start in park.
Yes, and in the Maycroft second team card, as there it is. Oh,
5 to go.
Comp caution, baby. Game on as we're on board with Jesse Stanley rejoining the action.
I'm excited to see the shootout that goes down here. The track is good. The drivers are good. They're pumped up. They're mad at each other.
This DNQ karting series, you don't get this anywhere else unless the late model race at Martinsville, where they copied our shit, where they throw a caution with a couple laps to go.
Wait, what's a late model?
Exactly. A lot of people copy our style. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they don't even know what this is. But you know what? A comp caution with 5 to go. This is total DNQ. You run the whole race, never go a lap down. You can always finish third.
Yep.
That's the best part about it.
I mean, watch for whoever wins this race to show up in Cup next year.
Absolutely. You never know what that rental deals. The 25 karts out there, which was a 98 driver. They switched karts halfway through, and we're 1 to go here.
Yeah, that's completely legal, too, by the way. There's no rule against switching karts. Obviously, the first kart he had blew up or was a pile of shit or something. He thinks the 25 is going to be faster.
Threw his transponder on there. He's in the big wood cart. And green flag, we're underway.
Here we go. Oh, good restart by Eford.
Eford up top. And you know what? He said,
he's got no balls. He let Timmy by.
He said, Timmy, you build my engines. I'm going to let you go.
Yeah, he did.
Just scared to pass him. And the rest of this field going here. Ridenhour and Kuhn, championship on the line here. Let's go on board with Jeff Kuhn.
Here we are. Who's he got in front of him?
Ridenhour
to the inside and a shot.
Riding dirty, flinging that mud up in him, but he's not giving up, going inside.
Watch this, they're door to door.
Crossover. These two are going to race each other very hard right
Staying in the gas. Is Ridenhour coming back? No, not
sure, as we're looking at Summers battling Holzbauer for the third spot.
Yeah, and Summers trying to make a name for himself after one win.
Let's go back in this inboard camera here. This is going to get good.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Riding dirty. Oh, hitting him. Kuhn coming back on the inside.
White flag is out, and it looked like Ridenhour was coming through like a bargain shopper on Black Friday on Kuhn there. And
would you say a grape drake in the Styrofoam cup?
And checkered flags out for Timmy Nye for the second time in 2014.
I bet he's going to Cup next year. Going down to Cup next year.
Going down to Cup is right, as he celebrates the win. But Rides made and finished second. He's down there with Tony Stevens. Tony.
Number 51 tonight was a little short of number 1, Jason Eford. What was the difference in between being here, looking at Victory Lane, and being in Victory Lane?
It's one word, motor, because I was out handling him, but the name of the game here at DNQ is the motor, and he brought a little bit more than I did. There ain't no shame in losing to that. I mean, they play by the rules, and he just brought a little bit more than I did. I'm just really happy to finish the race in second, and had good speed. And it don't hurt, that was my good buddy Tim. He actually put together my motor, so I can't fault him too much for bringing something a little bit bigger than what I had.
What's it like racing against your engine builder then? Unfair advantage for him?
We do it all the time. Sometimes when I beat him, he don't like it. When he beats me, I don't like it. It's just a buddy rivalry, and he does me right, and I'm glad to see him get off the bad luck too. We both did. It feels good to take home 1 and 2.
What do you think it's going to take now to keep this streak rolling?
Well, now that we got these motors kind of figured out, I mean, we can do this every week. What was holding us back before was the motor braking. I mean, we had good speed before. We were always up front, and now that we got it figured out, I think we're in good shape for next year.
As Jason Eford, maybe the monkey is off of his back here in the DNQ series, comes home P2 tonight.
I don't know how Eford's hair got looking that good after the race, but I see Tim Nye with his Busch Light. Tony's down with our 4th place finisher.
Matt Holzbar, guys, was a very impressive and very surprising 3rd place finisher here tonight. Matt, you started deep in the field. How did you slice your way up into the top 3?
Well, I made the choice not to go softer on tires because of the long race. Seemed to pay off, especially in the second segment. That's when I got by Ridenhour, got up into 3rd, got by Bentley, who was running real good again. That was pretty much it, just kept picking it up. I did not have enough for Eford and Nye, and then damn Summers got me there at the end for 3rd.
How much did the racetrack actually change over the course of 40 laps? That's a pretty long kart race, and we've seen already that this racetrack can change over the course of a night.
Changed a bunch. It was pretty wet and slick at the start, and then we took that 20-lap break, and we came back out, and it definitely was harder and more packed. Still wet, but it was definitely harder.
Did you learn anything now for upcoming DNQ races besides qualify better?
Yeah, pretty much it. Qualify better. I had a little bit of a motor run issue in the heat race, so I got to figure out what that was. Get that fixed and come back and do it again one more time.
Matt Holzbar comes home in 3rd here tonight at the Lead 2 Real Estate 40.
Thanks, Tony. Let's check out the final results here, Merrill.
Tim Nye taking the win, Jason Eford 2nd, Ryan Summers rallied back for a 3rd place finish.
Matt Holzbauer has a good finish in 4th. Jeff Kuhn had a great finish tonight. He needed that over Dan Ridenhour, so he gained the points.
Yeah, Sean Meekoff coming back from a jump chain. David Markham, who pounded the wall early, coming back with an 8th place finish. Jesse Stanley squeaking out a 9th. And Eric Maycroft, who may have been on the push to pass too much.
Too many Busch to passes will blow the engine.
Yeah.
But, Tim Nye's down there in victory lane. Let's go down to Tony Stevens. Tony?
Oh, the Busch Light is flying down here in victory lane for the Lead 2 Real Estate 40. Tim Nye, how refreshing is it? A nice cold one after the work you did here tonight at Millbridge.
Oh man, that's awesome right there. That was well deserved. I don't think anybody else deserved to win this thing for sure. I feel like we were the most deserved to win this, and Brandon Lloyd there, GRP, did his homework, and we worked the tires and finally put it together. So I think we got it done.
The last restart, they were a little closer to you than they were all night long. Did that worry you at all, or did you have full faith in this kart and the crew, what they put under you?
I had the faith in the stuff. I knew I just had to get my job done. And believe it or not, we put on old tires that right sides, and we took the new ones off and put on old ones. I don't think anybody else would have done that. Something's wrong with me or something, but they just felt better, and I was like, let's risk it. And Brandon said, let's just put those on, because I won a lot of heat races with those, but I never run them in a feature. So it all added up, and I'm glad to see Eford in 2nd. That was awesome, too. There's nobody else better than I deserves it, too, than Eford to run 2nd. I'm glad with that.
Where's the party at? What are you doing now? You won the Lead 2 Real Estate 40 at Millbridge, Tim Nye.
I'm going to Disney World. Woo!
Tim Nye, victorious here at Millbridge. He's making a trip to Disney World. That's how much this race means.
Well, enjoy seeing Mickey Mouse, Tim Nye. I'm sure you're very familiar with him. But let's go ahead and look at the point standings after this race. This is non-drop points. So Jeff Kuhn has a huge lead over Bentley, or over Dan Ridenhour.
As we tried to explain earlier, Ridenhour tight with Tim Nye, David Markham, and Eric Maycroft tied. So as long as Maycroft doesn't doesn't get on the bush to pass a little too hard next race, he could take it.
So how this works is Jeff Kuhn has 70 points. Dan Ridenhour's worst finish was 3 points. So if we drop Ridenhour's worst finish, which was 3 points, he has 56. If Jeff Kuhn did not show up, Ridenhour would have to score 14 points to tie him and then would win the championship via the tiebreaker. So we'll get in depth with that a little bit more next race. What a great race we had here today, Merle.
Yeah, it was great. The racing was hard. Timmy Nye walked away with the win. Jason Eford, best run. Eddie DeHaan had a strong run going. It was a great race, Bob.
Glad to see everybody out here. We'll see you for the season finale next race. So long.